I look so incredibly sexy tonight, and I feel bad because I'm gonna have to get in borderline racist, but it's not racist if it's your own race. Good morning, y'all. It's Timothy. Holy fucking shit. And before anyone gets mad at me, I have to say it. This is not a blonde wig. This is a white wig, because I enjoy the color white. And I think white, as in the color, like I think that cool I think if you don't believe me, I'll turn on the fucking light right now so that y'all don't think, holy shit, has Timothy gone full on alt right? Is that why she's wearing pearls and blonde hair? It's not blonde hair. I look like Storm from X-Men in person. I look like a human fucking s'more, and it's actually very cute. I love it. And I got my cute little fucking earrings. Look okay. It's giving Stepford wife on accident, but only in the dark. In person, it's giving Rihanna. Sexy. Anyway, people really don't like that I date white guys. I hate to break it to you. I don't date just white guys. I've dated every race you can think of. I dated a Mongolian guy last summer, and everyone was like, "Where the fuck do you even find a Mongolian guy?" I don't know. On Hinge, I found him on Bumble. And he was psychotic and weird, and not exactly in a good, cool way that I like. I've dated white dudes, Asian dudes, Indian dudes, even though I know those are also Asian dudes, but you get what I mean. Uh, Black guys, we aren't going there again. I went black, I'm not going back. And then also on top of that, I've dated, what's the last one? Mexican? Yeah, I've dated Mexican guys. Every race has their bad. Every race has their bad. And I have my type. And I'm willing to embrace that. I think it's fine when people have types, because you know what? If they were dating outside their type and terrorizing people that they didn't even want, that would be stupid. But you know what? I like my men to be submissive and not call the cops on me. Like, they're okay if I hit them. So it's like, for me, that usually means I'm going to date a lot of Latino guys and white guys, because they don't give a shit. The last white guy I dated, I remember unprovoked after the second date, he was like, "Hey, just so you know, please don't beat me. Like, never in your life beat me. I can't handle getting beaten. You can yell, but I don't like it, but I can't handle getting beaten." And I was like, "Nigga, I haven't even remotely thought of doing that to you. Why? We were talking about ice cream flavors. Why are you bringing this up unprovoked?" And unfortunately, it also kind of got my pussy wet, because it's like, you know what? I kind of like that. I kind of like a little, like, Rick and Morty type little weirdo who's just, like, anxious as fuck and just, like, shakes for no reason. I like the types of niggas that'll be like, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna get me a bunch of very sparkly jewelry just for going on a fucking second date with me. Hell, on a first date, even." I like the types of dudes that will get me huge fucking bundles of roses and are okay with me screaming at them and calling them very, 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 very bad, very bad, bad words. I have said terrible things to these men and they let me get away with it. And they still take me out and buy me anything I want. So therefore, I'll put it this way. That is a hell you do not want, young black man. If you're a black man and you're like, "Oh my god, why doesn't Tamia date me?" I've given people chances. I don't even want to talk about it because I just felt the migraine come in. I wish people would respect that I date who I date. I date who I date for a specific reason. Do you want to deal with a mentally ill black girl who occasionally has psychotic episodes and blackouts and autism and fucked up ass hair that's always like tangled and never properly done, and wigs that slide up backwards a little bit too much and are stiff as fuck? I don't cook. Or I do cook. But do I clean? No. No. I like white guys. They're like, "Yeah, you know what? You have homicidal thoughts in a depression bedroom? Just like me. You like Mountain Dew and video games? Just like me. I'll buy her whatever she wants. This is a black girl that knows what anime is. We love her." And I get along well with those types. In the history of my lifetime, trying to date, befriend, be in proximity to black men has not gone well. Ironically, tonight, an older black man kept bringing up that I date white dudes over and over and over and over and over again, and bringing up how I need to come back to this, and he was pointing to his skin color, and I just kind of smiled politely and was like, maybe one day. But even then, he just kept. I'll put it this way: if you're like twice my age and you've been to prison and jail and you've like you got some stuff, it's like I got my fucked up tendencies. But yours are on a whole nother level. It's like, no offense, you were in prison in the 80s. I was not alive in the 80s. No, just no. I'm young enough to be your daughter, actually. And I really wanted to say that so fucking bad. I resisted the urge to be like, dude, your daughter is only like less than 10 years younger than me. You need to. But he kept pushing, kept pushing. Let me just say, it's always so funny that the men who absolutely know they're not my type will still try to ask me out. And then all signs of like just, like, hurry up and get off this topic, they will still do something fucking creepy. The way this man pissed me off is that towards the end of the conversation, he offered a hug, and then unprovoked, he leaves a huge wet kiss a little bit too close to my mouth. Huge wet kiss. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. Because it's like, you know you're not my type. You know you're fucking twice my age. I don't date black guys. I don't like old guys. I don't like niggas that have been to prison, mostly. Like, what are you doing here? Also, ironically, a reason I don't date black guys is because whenever I've had an instance of sexual harassment, guess who's always at the scene of the crime? Like, a while back, fucking, like what, sometime last year, some dude literally tried to break into my fucking apartment as I was naked. You want to know who, you can guess the demographic. Years ago, I had some dude come up to my fucking window at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night and physically yell, "Yeah, wash that pussy for me, girl," at the top of his lungs into my bathroom and stared at me as I screamed as if I was the weirdo. You want to guess what race that guy was? There I could just be vibing in the street and just politely turn someone down, and lo and behold, they will say the most perverted, sexual, creepy ass comments they can off the bat, relentlessly, no matter how many times you make it clear. Let go of my hand. I don't want you leaving wet fucking kisses that are mucusy on my hand. They like it's like I'll put it this way: times I've been threatened, times I've been kissed without my consent and had mucus left on my skin, times I have been turned down a guy and then he starts acting like he immediately wants to murder me for the threat of just like ever so slightly bruising his ego by not being interested. There's a lot of entitlement, a lot of hypersexuality, a lot of violence. Hell, even sometime this year, like less than a few months ago, I went to this fucking comedy show and this black guy comes up to me and he's just like, huh, we don't need to be watching this shit. We could be watching this at home in my bed with me on some Tubi. You like Tubi in my bed? Fucking yeah! And he just, and I just was like, that's your way of approaching me? That's your riz? The best riz you can think of is I'm gonna just sexually harass Timothy, sweaty as fuck, musty as fuck, at the top of your lungs, yelling, despite being an inch away from my face, about how you want to take me home to your bed to watch Tubi movies and fuck me? I just want you to just. I don't even date just white guys. It's so funny. I don't date just white guys. I need you to get that through your head. I've dated way too many Japanese men, way too many Latino men. I've dated so many Mexican men. I swear to fucking God. Mexican men love me. Why? Because they love abusive women who know how to cook and have really good pussy. And that's where I come in. Like, and they'll give you things. They'll be like, I'll take care of every bill in the household and treat you well and take care of myself. And it's like, that's nice. I'm not going to talk shit about the other demographic too much because I already know I'm going to get a bunch of weird ass YouTube comments. It still is so funny how last year, wait, how long ago was that? That was damn, that was last year. Last year when I posted that video about that bitch who attacked me, all because she was jealous of me, because I was the new girl her man was seeing. Everyone was so caught up on the whole, why is this black queen saying she doesn't date black men? It was like a single half second that I mentioned it. But it's like, yeah, it's like I didn't expect to be in a baddies east fucking level fight, like throwing fucking wigs all over the place and smacking bitches, with a white gay twink, you know? Like, I didn't expect that. It's like, nigga, you're a fucking software engineer. You're a financial analyst. You type on a laptop all day and you have a huge ass like Ruby Rose as a white man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That gets my dick hard. I'm just saying. Also, I have to say it. The black guys I know, especially in my area, they don't care about trans rights. They don't care about disabled rights. They don't care about colorism. They don't care about any. I'll put it this way: as an autistic black chick who's also not even a woman, I'm non-binary, and I would happily trade in this pussy for a penis someday. The only reason I haven't is because we don't have the medicine for it. And y'all are like, oh no, a light-skinned woman doesn't want me. I hate to break it to you, even though I did date black guys, there's still a chance I would never meet you in my life, never fuck you in my life, and you will have to deal with that. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I gotta take off this wig. It's cutting off blood flow. But I'm just trying to get my point across of like, I don't date black men because they often don't give a shit about other people like me and everything I believe in and the causes I give a shit about. And they also don't even have that much money or hygiene or respect for women in general. So it's just like, yeah, it's just kind of funny how any instance where I've ever brought up how I don't date black guys, it'll be someone being so irate about it, whether openly or secretly, that they end up proving my point about why I don't date them. Like I could reject the guy in the street by being like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm actually on my way to meet my man," and it'll be a guy just like death glaring at me, like he wants to fucking murder me, and just standing there for 10 seconds before walking off, as if he was debating on beating my ass for simply waiting outside of a cafe politely for the guy I was dating at the time. Or it could be me getting threatened for my life by a dude who's mad I won't give him my name. And then ironically will call me the wrong name and won't even remember the name I gave him. It'll like just I'm just saying. Like I've had instances where I was giving out food to the homeless and then guess what type of person would be antagonizing me and calling me all sorts of bitch, hoe, slut, cunt, all sorts of slurs and provoked black man. If anything, I remember I was at my storage unit before. You want to guess who the guy who called me a fucking faggot and a bunch of slurs was? A black guy. You want to guess who traumatized me in high school when I dated them for several years? A black guy. Even though he had a white mother, but still, it still counts. It's like Jesus, it was bad. It's just like, yeah, I just gave up. It's like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'll stick with corny white boys who enjoy Elden Ring and working too hard in the name of capitalism. I kind of enjoy those types because they you don't need much from them. You don't need much. They'll just be happy. Just like I worked 82 hours this week and I'm gonna go home to Tamia and she's gonna make me fucking corn rice. It's like hell yeah, I'll do that. I would get my point across further in this video, but I don't know. I'm holding back. Maybe because I'm not drunk enough. But just, you know, most instances of violence or sexual harassment or aggression or weirdness at the hands of a man usually has been an African American man. So I don't date them. And before you get mad at me, funny enough, I would date a Habesha guy. Like a guy from Ethiopia, Eritrea, hell yeah, I'd do that. Like I just got out the car with a very sweet one a bit ago. He was my Uber driver. Even though they hate the way I say salam. They don't like how I say salam. None of them like the way I say it. I try to say assalamu alaikum. They don't like it. No matter how, I don't know. I like dating Mexican dudes. They don't like the way I say gracias. 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 They don't like how I say birria or birria. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it. I date, which is like, eventually I just was like, okay, fuck it. I need a race that is like semi-hygienic. Like, or like their must is like tolerable. Like, and then I also need, ideally, we speak the same language because I can't just keep getting almost jumped by someone's family because I don't know how to say gracias the right way or feliz cumpleaños or whatever. And ideally, not someone who has a history of violence or disgusting behavior towards women. And it's one of those weird things where I guess just specifically for my area, do I meet weirdos? Yeah. But it's really telling that even out of all the stories of all the terrible fucking weirdos I've met, I can still say it's like, yeah, white dudes have been the least weird. Because it's like the white dudes I've dated, they'll be the types of assholes where it's like, I'm gonna drink a bunch of tall boys secretly before Tamia comes over, and I'm gonna give her the worst sex ever for like 5 hours straight. Ooh, yeah. And that's what they do. Meanwhile, not Mongoloid, sorry, what's the name? Mongolian. The Mongolian guy I dated. That nigga straight up told me, he was like, yeah, I worked a job where like, and he just told me about how he worked a job at this high-end restaurant and bar where rich clients would pay the bartenders to roofie people. Like, and he was like, yeah, they showed me the fucking GHB bottles and everything. And it's like, oh, you're terrifying. And also, he didn't know how to kiss. Asian dudes don't know how to kiss. And if you're like, that's racist, it's okay. I can say it because I've dated a bunch of fucking Asian dudes. They don't know what they're doing. I remember the way I left that man's car after like the second date with him. We had a third date, and that's when I found out the terrible stuff. But like on the second date, I just was straight up like, "You kiss like Japanese porn stars fuck, and that's not a compliment." And I left. I dipped. I can't do that shit. I'm not doing that shit today. Um, like he sucked my top lip like a dick and somehow bit it, and then acted like I was the bad kisser. I don't. So it's like, yeah, no Asian guys. I remember once at my old job, a black girl was like, "You date Asian guys? Aren't they kind of perverted?" And I was like, "No, oh, you have a point." Because then I was like, "Yeah, shit, pedophile, 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 almost a pedophile." Okay, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna, yeah, no, yeah, no more Asian dudes. I dated Indian men. I'll put it this way. People call India the vape capital of the world for a reason. And the way I'll put it this way, it's just a bunch of people came from India to our area for really good tech jobs and they just kept their terrible treatment of women. And then you'll go on a date with them and they'll just be trying to like molest you with both arms as they sit next to you and they'll start dry humping the air in the middle of a fancy restaurant and it's like, or they'll just be like, yeah, here's a young lady who I just met. I'm gonna leave a wet fucking kiss right on her neck or right on the side of her mouth within seconds of meeting her. I'm gonna see if I can slide my hand down her back and grab her. It's like, yeah, nope, just, yeah, it's like, nope. Mexican dudes are chill. You know, I really don't have much complaints about Mexican dudes, other than some of them do not, eh, it could be better hygiene, some of them, but you know what? They're hard workers. I'd rather someone who's musty because of a long day at a laborious, like, construction site, or a day working in the hot fucking sun, like melting steel beams and doing heavy shit. It's like, yeah, that's a blue collar job. You're working in a fucking factory, my dude. You're gonna come back a little musty. You like if you got two jobs, one as a dishwasher, the other one as a fucking factory man, and you come back home musty, it's like I respect that more than a man who's just musty because he's standing around bullshitting and doing fucking nothing all day. It's like, yeah, that's a good must, a respectable one. Doesn't mean I like it. It's just the lesser of two evils. And Mexican dudes, they're pretty cool, but okay, I don't know how to say this nicely. Stupid as fuck. Yeah, or like it I don't know, like I had a date with this Mexican dude and I remember the way he told me on the first date. He like Mexican dudes so amazingly respectful gentlemen, all that shit, even though they're ridiculously horny, but they can be very, very gentlemanly. The way this man told me on a first date like years ago, he said, "I think COVID was created in a lab." You know, like the Eiffel Towers. And he just walked off. And I stared at him and I said, "Do you mean the Twin Towers? Also, the Twin were. I get what you mean, but like, they, you know, some pieces of my, you know, that shit was so terrible. White dudes, I've said it before and I said it again, white dudes have very disgusting hygiene practices. Very. I think honestly most men do. I don't really like men that much. I really don't. It's so funny how I'm afraid to eat vagina because I'm afraid it'll taste like fucking, I don't know, like fucking pennies and mustard, but it's like, what do men taste like? Come on now. Anyway, white dudes pay for everything, Mexican dudes pay for everything, and both of them will let you yell at them and treat them like shit. But as long as you also love bomb the shit out of them, and they will happily be like, yeah, this is a nice lady. I'm gonna put her in a big fucking house and buy her the biggest diamond ring I can and give her like 7 kids. It's like, do you know how many white dudes I've met who have really told me how badly they want to marry me and give me 5 kids? What the fuck am I gonna do with 5 kids, nigga? Shut up. But you know what? It's like, okay. Black guys, the worst. Okay. Some black guys I've dated don't even get past the initial texting stage because it'll be like, you know, the word what's up is a simple two word. And then we shortened it to what's up. Some niggas can't even do that. They'll just be like WSP, and that'll be their version of what's up. And then if you try to talk to them, every message is like short as fuck, spelling errors, YUD over and over and over and over and over again. I had a date with a black guy last. I don't know. I really can't talk about it. It was so fucking bad. Let's just say I don't like black men. I don't like a lot of people. I don't even really like men. I don't. Tonight was a pretty solid night, and then this one man just came up and started talking to me and started his soapbox speech about how I should give black men a chance. And it's like, sir, I'm not even focusing on dating right now. I'm really not. I'm not focusing on dating. Trust me, I'm not. I had a white real estate agent. He paid for my art supplies today. Just off the bat. We have hardly even talked to each other for more than a day, and he got me fucking like $60 worth of fucking art supplies. And guess what? I have I almost blocked his ass today because I don't have the patience for any type of man, any man. And then it's kind of annoying that it's like I'm gonna have a nice night out where I just look good and feel good, and here comes someone who's like I'm gonna unprovoked leave a disgusting wet unconsensual kiss right onto Mitty's germaphobe mouth, and it feels like it's burning, and try to repeatedly pressure her to give me a phone number and repeatedly pressure her to consider me for a date. And it's one of those things where it's like, if I were going to go on a date with a black man, I don't know how to say this any nicer than I'll say it. I don't think I would go for a convict who still sags his pants and wears skinny jeans and dresses like Soldier Boy. Or no, dresses like mindless behavior mixed with Soldier Boy. Like, your face looks like it's a melting fucking candle, like it's brie cheese that has been left at room temperature for like 2 to 3 days. Uh, you look like a fucking blobfish that has came out onto Earth's surface and has a gravity pulling it down to hell. It's one of those things where it's like at this point, it's like it's not even about race. It's just the fact that you aren't good, dude. You aren't good. You're not. Yeah. Anyway. It's so fucking annoying. I wish people would just let me date my type. Because it's like, I'll put it this way, I'm not even happy with my type. My type doesn't even, like, I'm not even happy with my type. And my type isn't happy with me. What makes you think you would be better for me? I'm abusive to my type. Like, really. Like, I was tormenting the fuck out of the last nigga I was with. And I'm just saying, it's always the niggas, like, a lot of niggas just are just like surface level, like, ooh, look, I want this light skinned woman to give me validation and like me and hopefully one day lead me on to think we could ever fuck. They don't give a shit about anything else, like all the intense mental illness, like running track record, history of restraining order threats, none of that. Just, Jesus, not self preserving in the slightest. Anyway, speaking of self-preservation, I'm kind of debating on if I want to wash the fucking shea butter and body oil off my body or risk going to sleep with the biohazard of that man's kiss on my face. Fucking irritating. I'm so pissed. Bye.